Hello everyone, my name is Molly, and today we're here to discuss Supernatural Season 13, Episode 4. Episode 4 was a pretty good episode. It was very healthy. It's what we needed. And it was also very exciting because Cass. So, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but just know it's a good episode for you Cass lovers out there. I ended up really enjoying this episode. I really liked the fact that we got to see Jack go on a hunt with the boys, and I really liked the kind of emotional development that we had in this episode because we got some with Cass, just as a character, and then we got some with Dean, and we got some with Sam, and it was very therapeutic, which is ironic because it was a therapy session, but like, it was a very therapeutic episode, and it's something we really needed, and it definitely laid the groundwork for some good things to come. So I'm really excited for you guys to see it and to talk about it with you guys. But if you haven't seen it, just know it's a good episode, but you have to go watch it before you can continue on with this video, because no spoilers. So if you haven't seen the episode, goodbye for now! This was a good episode, guys. This episode seemed to be centric a lot on Mary, and not specifically like we saw her a lot, but we talked about her a lot. It was a very big deal in the Winchester household, talking about Mary and how we should move on and we shouldn't move on and what happened to her and all this stuff. And so that's how we open up the episode, with Dean talking to Sam about Mary. He's saying, like, the sooner you accept that she's dead, we can move on. I've already moved on, but, like, you need to accept that she's dead. You can't keep this false hope. I know he's trying to, like, help Sam in a way because he doesn't want Sam to have these hopes. In his mind, she is dead. She is gone, and she's never coming back. And he doesn't want Sam to be hurt by that notion. Like, she's not here. And he's frustrated. And I get that. I get it. And he also has some selfish reasons of, like, he doesn't want to be reminded of this. He's convinced himself that Mary is gone. So why do we have to keep talking about it? She's dead. Move on, Sam. And, you know, it's very hurtful on Sam's end, but I can see where Dean's coming from. So it was just a whole mess. Jack and Sam have another adorable talk. I love their talks. They're so cute and so sweet, and I love them. So Jack ends up trying to help on the hunt. He, like, gets out and goes into the crime scene. And, like, I understand that we don't want Jack helping because he's unpredictable and he doesn't know what he's doing. It's not good. We don't want that. And the fact that it's Satan's kid makes it a lot worse. But Dean was very mean to him, and I was like, Dean, like, he's just trying to help. But also, who do we know that did that? Cass. So I can see where the hurt is coming from. There was a line where Sam is like, dude, you're starting to sound like Dad. And I was like, oh, hell no. And then Dean's like, is that such a bad thing? And I was like, I was hurt. I was hurt by that. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is one of the sweetest people you will ever see in your entire life. But John Winchester is one of the biggest douches out there. I hated him. I could go on a whole rant about John Winchester and his parenting decisions, but I never really compared Dean to John because I had grown to love Dean so much. But I realize now that that's exactly what John did, and I hated John for it. So it made me rethink my thoughts on John, and it made me hate Dean even more for the things that he's been doing. And, like, not in a way that, you know, like, I hate John Winchester, but just in a way that I'm like, oh, you know? So that line, at least for me, was really eye-opening, and it really hurt. And then it hurt that Dean didn't have a reaction. Like, he was on the end of all of these things that John did to him. Like, he's hurt by them. He's been scarred by them. So, like, why doesn't it touch you more that you're doing that to somebody else? I don't get it. Like, I don't get how that wasn't the line to get through to him, because I thought that was gonna be the thing that would get through. Nothing. The boys are talking about ghosts, and Jack asks about ghosts, and they explain to him, and he's like, well, do you think my mom could ever come back? And Dean's like, no, we burned her. What burns stays dead. And then he gets this really sad look, and I was like, he's thinking of Cass. It hurts. So So we end up going to this therapist's office, which is a very interesting practice, and I'll get to that later, but we go to this therapist, and like I was texting my friend during the episode, and I swore that the house set up, and it might have been, looked exactly like when we found Emmanuel for the first time. Remember his house? That's all I saw when I looked at that house, like maybe painted a different color. And honestly, like, because, you know, they film on sets, it might be the same set, just a different color, but like that's all I saw when I looked at it. And then they're walking up the steps and Jack sees this like random guy and he just turns and he's like, hello. And the guy's like, it was hysterical. I was dying. I was like, oh, Jack. And then when they go into the therapist's office, they introduce themselves and they're like, this is our little brother Jack. And I was like, my sweetheart. If Cass was here, you'd be like, this is my husband, Cass. I'm sorry. I can't help myself. So Dean and Sam end up having a therapist session with the shifter therapist. So let's talk about the shifter therapist for a second. So she ends up being a nice shifter, and she, as gross as shifters are, she ends up being a nice one. Her practice is basically she will turn into the person that they lost, so they can say their final goodbyes. They feel like they have closure because they can say what they need to say, and I honestly think that's like a really beautiful thing that she does. I personally wouldn't do it. I think I'm too much like Dean in that aspect, that it's like, they're gone. Like, telling you isn't gonna do anything, but I just thought it was a really, really sweet idea, and if it works for people, that's amazing. But Dean and Sam end up having this therapy session between the two of them, and they start talking about all their losses. And Sam goes off on this whole thing about how Dean has memories of Mary, but Sam has no memories. He doesn't remember her ever being a mom to him. So him getting her back was a big deal because he never had that. And then to have that ripped away from him so soon was like losing her for the first time, because he never really got to feel that loss. He just felt the loss of an idea. Dean felt the loss of a person, and now Sam is feeling that loss of a person. So he thinks it's unfair for Dean to constantly berate him about how Mary is gone and Mary is dead, because he doesn't have time to process it. He doesn't want to. I kind of figured that's what was going on, and I think it was really good that Sam said that to Dean, because Dean would not have realized that otherwise. And so I was really happy that they had that session between the two of them, because I think it softened some of Dean's edges a little bit. So we go visit Cass, and he's in the empty, and we meet this weird doppelganger, and like, I love Misha to death, but what the heck was that accent? I was dying. He opened his mouth and I was like, oh my god. Like, what even? I mean, like, it was good. It was just hysterical, and I wasn't expecting it. But I think it's impressive that he can still come up with different characters. He kind of reminded me of Leviathan Cass a lot. But, so we have this weird doppelganger, and the doppelganger is explaining to Cass, like, you shouldn't be up, nobody makes it out of the empty, nobody wakes up, like, blah, blah, blah. And Cass is like, it must be Sam and Dean, they must be coming for me, and my heart just broke, because I was like, they would if they know what to do, but like, Dean is sad and Sam is caught up in your child, and like, it's just a mess. I'm sorry, but they're not coming. I hope that never comes up. Like, I hope he's never like, you guys got me out of the empty, and they're like, what? Like, please no, just let Cass have his little fantasy, please. And then the doppelganger starts torturing Cass. The torture ends up being Cass reliving his greatest sins, I guess, like his greatest mistakes, and he has to live through that again, and he feels all that pain and all the pain he's caused people, and I was like, oh. It kind of reminded me of that scene in ACOWAR, if you guys know what I'm talking about, with the mirror and Feyre. Like, that's what I pictured. Kudos to Cass for being able to get through it. There's also a scene in the empty with the doppelganger, and Cass is like, Sam and Dean need me, like, I have to go back, and I was like, oh, my baby. And then the doppelganger is like, I've been through your thoughts, I know what you hate, and I know who you love, and I was just like, Dean? Are we gonna talk about Dean now? But like, seriously, they are baiting us so hard, because like, what? Who says that? I mean, what you hate and who you love? Like, really? People took took to Tumblr and they were freaking out about this and they were like, this is proof, like they would never say. And I was like, oh, they're baiting us so hard. This whole season has just been baiting us, but I love it, so keep it coming. Jack ends up going to the therapist and saying, can you shift into my mother? And that scene made me cry so much because he pulls out the video and he's like, this is all I have of her. Like, this is it. And the shifter shifts into her and they have this whole scene and they hug. Kelly says, like, you'll be good, like, oh, and all that stuff, and Jack was so sad, and I was really sad, because I want him to have his mom. Like, I wasn't the biggest fan of Kelly, but I wanted him to have his mom because he's so sad and he deserves it. Kelly ends up saying, it doesn't matter what you are, it matters what you do, and I think that's such a powerful statement. So the shifter ends up taking Dean. I was convinced that when they were on the phone, the shifter was Sam. I was like, they took Sam and we're gonna have to go get his ass, but he took Dean, and I was like, why is it always Dean? Last time we had a shifter, it also took the shape of Dean. Like, I get Jensen is so pretty that, like, everybody wants to be him. You know, okay, I understand it now. I hate when shifters shift. It's so disgusting, and it's like, why are you peeling off Jensen's face? Like, I want to keep that on as long as possible. He's freaking gorgeous. But yeah, I was like, really? Dean again? Back in the empty. Like I said before, Cass goes through all his greatest failures, and he's talking about how he's a disappointment, and he means nothing, and he's worthless, and I was like, no, this is his worst fear. No, leave him alone. Stop saying that to him. Cass rebels against him, and I was so proud of him that he found the strength to do that, and I was just like, I love you. You're so strong. So, jumping back to the therapist, the creepy other shifter, like, ex-boyfriend guy who was freaking creepy, he, ends up saying, you kill these two boys or I kill you. And she totally is just like, kill me. And I was really proud of her for that because she was sacrificing her life for these guys that she didn't even know. And I mean, like, to be fair, it's also saving her morality, but I thought it was a very, very strong thing to do, and I was really happy about it. And Jack and Dean kind of have a little bonding moment. Like, it's very small, and it doesn't do much, but it's there. It's a spark, and I was so excited because he was talking about how, like, yes, you can use your powers. Like, you can use them. You have control. Like, it's fine. And I was just like, he's coming around. So Sam comes in to the office and he's like starting to come into where everybody else is, and the shifter takes on Dean's voice and is like, Sam, we're in here. But like, it was just the weirdest thing because it's like Jensen's voice, but it's not Jensen saying it, and it was just, it really weirded me out. And then Jack ends up saving Sam, and I love it. I love that he can find it in himself to protect them. There was a scene later on after we deal with everything where the therapist is like, I just wanted to help people, and Jack goes, you did. And I was just, my heart, I can't. I love Jack so freaking much. Then Dean and Jack have another bonding moment. It's so exciting. I'm so ready for them to be like a power team. They're gonna be a power family. It's gonna be great. But Dean goes to Jack and he's like, you did good today. And I was like, it's happening, guys. It's happening. I'm so ready. And I was so happy that they're finally bonding, and they're doing it without Cass being there, because I thought we were gonna have to wait till Cass comes and Cass is gonna have to knock some sense into Dean, but they're doing it on their own, and I'm really proud of them. And then Dean goes and apologizes to Sam, and I was just, I'm so proud of Dean. Cass is back! Cass is back on Earth. He literally annoyed the entity so much that it sent him back to Earth. I think that's just hysterical. But it's also true, and it also happened, and I'm so freaking ready for him to be back. And he got a new look. He has a new trench coat now, and I honestly really like this one. I still like the original one the best, so it's like the OG, and then this one, and then the other weird short Lucifer one. From the promo, episode 5, it looks like it's gonna be kind of a filler episode, just in the way that it's just like a normal hunt. There's no Jack, I know he's not there. There's no Cass, there's no really bigger storyline. It's just an episode where the brothers are going hunting, which I think is healthy because they need some time alone together without Satan's kid. What they're gonna do with Jack, I'm not really sure, but I know he goes missing soon, so maybe this will play a part in that. But I'm kind of excited just to see Sam and Dean again, as much as I want to see Cass, and as much as I love Jack. I think it's gonna be nice to have the brothers just back together again, and I think they both need it, and so I'm excited to see it, even though it is kind of a fillery episode. So those are my thoughts on episode 4. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode down below. Do you love Jack just about as much as I do? What are your theories on Cass's return? Do we think the Empty's gonna have any effects on either him or if the Empty's coming back after him? There's so many things we could talk about, so just talk about them down below. I'll definitely freak out with you guys. Make sure you guys check out my previous episode talks for Supernatural. They will be linked down below, and also if you're interested in any other shows, I do talks for Riverdale, Teen Wolf, Shadowhunters, and Stranger Things, so all those will be linked down below as well. That's about it for this video, guys. I try to upload a video every week. If you like my videos, then subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!